guys, I'm Vivian. I'm the organizer for this meetup. Some of you are new friends, some of you are old friends. So welcome. And let me open the door first. I think someone is still coming. So how many of you are first time? Okay, cool. So we host event every Monday, Thursday. And the first week of the month, we also host on Tuesday. So basically, we have about 9 to 10 events every month. We teach R, processing, Python, location data query, visualization, V3.js, and open data topic. So we do a lot of stuff. Kim was there the very first one, right?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year, June 10 was the very first one. Yeah. You were there with us since day one. That's awesome. So today we are teaching through Google Hangout. Professor Ramnath is associate professor at University of Yale. He already taught city bike sharing project in the past with this group. Kim, were you there? The one we host at Mackenzie about how can we do rcharts visualization.
No, I missed that.
Okay, we host two before. I have the recording, so if you go to nycdatascience.com, click on meetup, you should find archive the content. So, did you guys get the link to tonight's repo?
Where is it?
Okay. It's on the meetup, today's event. Go to the comment section, the very first comment.
Oh, there it is. My source code is.
Yes. So, would you mind saying like who you are, what you do, why you're interested here quickly? So Ramnath have an idea of what's going on here. Do you want to start with you, Lily?
I'm Lily, actually. My English name, and I work as a data analyst in the education department. This is my first meetup.
Cool.
My name's E. I'm a student majoring mathematics and statistics, and I use R a lot, and I'm also learning data visualization, so I come here to learn more about it. We're actually basically the same, similar. We are UNICEF classmates in NYC. We are both masters degree major in statistics. Oh, by the way, I'm Guan.
Do you guys know Zhang? I hired two interns from Columbia Statistics Department. That's a huge part. I see. Yeah, it's possible.
Hi, I'm Zach. I work at CP at Nitro doing predictive analytics and marketing science.
Kim?
Yeah, I'm Kim. I've been doing statistics for many years, but I need to upgrade my skills on some of the newer tools like R.
Hi, sir.
Hi, my name is Alexia. I'm the project manager working for a financial institution. So we are doing all kinds of statistical analysis, risk evaluations. So we are doing this in C++. I think that we might utilize R for these purposes. I'm also curious about Hadoop and big data.
Did you go to my Hadoop event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there a few times. They were great.
Hi, sir.
My name is Matt.
Matt?
I work as a consultant at a financial data software company. And I'm interested in learning more about Python, R, just doing more data science type work. So
Were you in the survival analysis one?
I was at the city bike.
City bike one, yes. Hi guys, we're introducing ourselves to get started. And it's your turn.
Do you mind if I
This table is missing.
Yeah.
So my name is Julianne. I work as an academic researcher, and I'm trying to learn more about law and all the things for data science.
Okay.
I actually have some trouble installing that too, so later on I may need help on that.
You have trouble to what?
Installing that too for
what's your name and what do you do? What
My
bring you
name's
here?
Rob, and I do quantitative research in financial markets. I have a small hedge fund that I run, and I'm using R more and more.
Awesome. We're glad to hear that because we are so into R. Ramnath, so we have a really good mix of the audience. We can get started.
Okay. So let me know when we get started, Vivian.
Yeah, you can get started now. We're ready.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So great. So thanks for coming, and I'll try to. The objective of this workshop, as we really explained, is to get you started with rcharts, which is an R package that allows you to do interactive visualization straight from R. Okay, and are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very well.
Okay. So the first thing we want to do is to make sure that everybody has the required packages installed. Okay. So I'm going to be switching on to one of the slides, and even before we do that, I want to make sure that you can download the entire GitHub repository. Vivian, did you share the link with them?
Yes, I already did.
Okay. So I want to make sure that everybody has the repository downloaded so that because all the code that I'm going to be using is there in that repo. So if you navigate to this link, which is github.com/rcharts/NYC_May_2014, you will see a download zip folder here. Link here. So make sure that you download that and
Hello. Can someone help to open the door?
So Vivian, I'm just waiting for you to confirm that people have downloaded that, because I think I want to move a little slowly in the beginning.
Okay.
Once everybody has things installed, we can go at a faster pace.
Okay.
So the first step is to make sure you download the repository. The second step is to install rcharts, and the instructions are there in the slide. Let me just take you through that. Okay. So you don't need the DevTools package.
You come late, so ask your neighbors what's your Wi-Fi, otherwise you will get
Wi-Fi far too slow.
Yes, far too slow. Yes. Let me.
Wi-Fi far too slow or just far too
Ramnath, can you wait a second? I need to get everyone Wi-Fi. Yes.
Okay.
1 second. So right now we should install the rcharts. Did you guys get the link? Click on the first one, the create one. And run.
And Vivian, it's okay if you don't install Slidify and Slidify libraries. I'm only going to be talking about rcharts. So it's okay if they install only rcharts.
Okay, it's fine. I see.
Yeah.
Is rcharts not on the CRAN repository?
It's on GitHub. People are asking, is rcharts on CRAN?
No, rcharts is not on CRAN.
rcharts is on GitHub. It's on the
GitHub.
It's on GitHub. Do you guys know how to download this from GitHub?
Is Is there a question for me, Vivian?
I'm asking them.
So is the link the latest post in the meetup comment?
Yes.
And you said the first folder access?
The first is create.
Create.
Do you guys know how to download so this is how you can download the Slidify library and rcharts from GitHub. You first need to have a package called div2. Div2 have a function called install GitHub, which help you to download and install that.
So Vivian, I'm still here. I'm just waiting so that once you tell me everyone has things installed, I'll get to the next step.
Okay. Okay. I'm waiting for everyone too.
Yeah.
If you have successfully run those commands, let me know. Just copy paste it to our console.
And Vivian, if they need the code that's there, they can open the. Let me show this. So all the code on these slides you can actually. Let me go to the source of that. So if you look at slides, if you navigate to the folder for create, you will see a file called index.rmd. If you open that file, you will see all the code that you see all the slides. Okay, so this will allow you to quickly copy paste if you don't want to copy paste to the slide itself.
My normal way of loading packages is not working. It's not on the list. Solidify.
Did you try to run this? We are installing it from GitHub. Sure. What's the problem you have?
It seems like that two require a library called evaluate, and I'm having trouble installing evaluate because the URL doesn't seem evaluate.
What version of R are you running?
So I'm trying to install evaluate, but the URL seems to point to something that's not found.
So what version of R are you running?
Well, I downloaded both the 3.0 and then also 3.1.0. I have
okay, so can you try doing install.packages evaluate? I think that should get evaluate on your machine.
Yeah, I tried that, but it says the HTTP status was not found.
So just making sure you tried install.packages evaluate. Is this what you tried?
Yes.
And it's giving you an error?
Yes, it says the HTTP status was not found.
Vivian, this might be a network issue.
Can I see it?
So anyone who got rcharts installed, can you just raise your hand so that I know people who already have it installed?
While you are installing
Because when I tried to require that tool, it says the package evaluate was not, there's no package called evaluate, so I thought it's not evaluate.
So go to NYC
But
Open.
you don't need to know this one. There's no package called evaluate.
So, okay, so try to require that.
Just go to the slide. Look at those line of code. Because it's not required. And I think you misspell or the uppercase or lowercase is wrong.
So, Vivian, can you quickly check who has been able to install it so that I know?
Yes, how many of you have installed rcharts? Okay, one more second. What's your question? Are you downloading rcharts?
Yeah, it's just it's
Okay.
moving really slowly.
So Ramnath, can we wait a little bit so everyone can have it? Ramnath, can you hear me?
Would you also accept our invitations to join me so we can share screen?
Yes. I didn't see a request.
Really? Because for me it says that it's waiting for response. It's NYC Open data, right?
Yes, I didn't see the request. Oh, it's here. Okay. How can I switch back?
So get anyone into the
So half of them have download the rcharts. Half of them.
can you repeat that?
Half of them has installed it. Half of them.
Okay. And the other half there is a process and
Yes. Just I think 2 more minutes.
okay.
These packages are big.
Yes, it's big. How big it is, Ramnath?
And we can, just in case somebody is not able to install, they can still play around with the code online, and I'll share the link. With that, you can share it with everybody.
Okay.
So the link is rcharts.io/playground. So that's like an online. People can run examples online, so they don't need a local installation to read their charts.
I see.
That's just a backup, okay? In case someone doesn't succeed in installing and it's not, you're not able to debug it, then they can go ahead and use that.
Okay. Did you guys get it? Who haven't?
It's just downloading.
Yeah, the internet's
Just
moving
download.
really slowly.
Okay.
So I actually got it not using RStudio and using just regular R. I don't know whether RStudio is causing trouble.
Can you use rcharts now?
I have rcharts in regular R. I didn't. I tried to use it. I tried to download it from RStudio, but that was giving me trouble.
Okay.
So now I have it in just regular R.
Okay. Cool. So, Ramnath, do we want to continue now?
Can you repeat that?
I think most of us get it. The other is just downloading it. It's a little big.
Okay. So do you want to give it another couple of minutes? Because I mean, otherwise it's not going. They're not going to be able to.
Okay.
Have you managed to install?
Yeah.
So I mean, like I downloaded the whole package. As a library, but you know what should be installed with?
I just use her code to install
Ah, I see.
instead of
Yeah,
trying to select it from a list, just directly go to GitHub.
okay. So I
Guys, that's why I need to be here on time.
well, the meetup showed us the wrong address.
No address?
Yeah,
Where it shows?
it shows like downtown. I can just prove it. The pointer on the map was wrong, but the address was correct.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yes, I downloaded that.
We are at this from here. This one. And tell him too.
Yeah. So here you go.
Okay, awesome. Next time, be here earlier. Do you guys want this?
Yeah.
Did you come here before?
Not for this.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with
I wasn't looking at the address. I was looking at the pointer on the map. So.
God.
We turn the R's here. I should just go with me.
Who hasn't got our charts yet? Are we all good? Let me know. Are we all good? Good? Good?
Don't wait for me. Someone's actually screening my art, but I'm cool.
No one left behind. No kid left
Well,
behind.
I'm trying to talk that through.
Did you spell it correctly?
Yeah. It's, the old internet was moving so slowly. I had to
I just
broke it to go to
Right, it's like copy and paste that.
a lot faster.
I have to type in manual.
Where is your
From
things?
NYC
Oh, you
Open.
don't have the
No, it is.
Where is that? Oh, yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
You're saying this is not with me?
No,
Oh, she's on the first one. Create, share, interact. Create.
Yeah, I mean,
Why do you have
Yeah, this create.
it's gonna be the same thing.
Oh.
Evaluating, I think it was the same problem she was
Which video you're going
just
having.
It matters. So you use the arsenal report?
Yeah.
But how do you use the art in the past? Why did it-
I mean, this is a brand new computer.
Oh, I see.
I have it installed on my computer.
So did you get the local copy?
Yeah, I mean, I just downloaded the art.
Hi. Hi, welcome.
Sure.
Oh, fine and see. We are installing our charts and
Okay. I'm bringing it in here.
so do you want to sit with someone? Hey, would you mind share your laptop and so you
Just sit next.
and you don't have it?
No, it says I can't install DevTools because it's not that.
You don't have DivTool. You need to install DivTool first.
That's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
So what's
Yeah,
that?
she has an old version of art. She needs an updated one.
This is too old.
Yes.
It needs 3.1.
Mine and the URL's not working.
So I just found the,
Okay.
I just found the,
So would you mind sit in the middle so they can share your screen?
Sure, yeah.
So they can know how you talk.
I already have it.
Jim, would you mind share your screen with
No
us?
way. Of course.
Come on. Please sit with us so we can know what's going on.
Hi, Alexi.
I Thank you. So you, three of you will work as a team to make it work. You guys should move faster than all of us, okay?
I'm gonna move this.
Are we all good here? Everyone?
Sorry.
Your code to copy and paste from your website. I'm on it here. Which one are you on?
The first one, let's just get started. Yes.
I only have this splash in this screen.
You can, this is a slide.
Thank you.
Hi guys, we need to continue. It's already half hour past, right? Ramnath, I think we're ready to go.
Are we good?
Yes. Go.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by showing you how to create a few basic charts using rcharts, and that should get you comfortable with how things work. And then we will move on talking about how to share a chart you created, and then we will talk about customization, interactivity, and a lot more. Okay. So I have a lot of things in that deck, in those decks. We may not be able to cover everything.
Okay.
But so we will go as far as we can in the next 90 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good.
And any questions? I think Vivian, I'm finding it hard to get anybody else because of the distance. So if people have questions, I think you might have to help me understand what's being asked. Okay? Because the audio is not really good. I'm having great difficulty following what's happening.
Okay, I see. No problem. I will try to repeat their question.
Okay, perfect. So, so let me just tell you one more thing before we start. So any of these slide decks, the source for all these slides are in the corresponding RMD file. So for example, if you see 01 create and you see the slide here, you will also be able to find, if you go to your repository you have downloaded, let me just switch links, give me a second. Okay. Okay, so if you go to your repository, you will see a folder called slides, and within slides you will see a folder called 01 create, and within that you will see a file called index.rsd. Okay. If you're using RStudio, then I would recommend that you open that file because it's easy to run code directly of that.
Yes, we are ready to go.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm going to use this file because I can show you things that you will be doing exactly the same things that I'm doing. Okay. So what is rcharts? So rcharts essentially is a package that helps create, customize, and share dynamic interactive visualizations or using a lattice-like plotting interface. Okay. Now, what do I mean by a lattice-like plotting interface? Let me just show you what I mean by that. Okay. So let's say that I have. So I'm loading the lattice package. Vivian, are the fonts big enough for everyone to see? Vivian, question. Can everyone see? Are the fonts big enough for everyone to see?
You need to make it bigger.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, much better. I'm doing join me so they can see it from your screen. Oh, from their own screen.
Is it better?
I'm saying I'm doing join me so they can see your screen from their own laptop.
But I'm not. It's going to be very hard for me to juggle across screens. So just tell me if you can see it, and I'm good.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So if you use the lattice package, you will know that to create a scatter plot, let's say of miles per gallon versus weight, you're going to do something like this. All right? You're going to say, I want an XY plot of miles per gallon versus weight. Data is empty cars, and And once you run this piece of code in our studio, you can run this entire code chunk by just saying run current chunk. So in this case, I'm creating a static plot of miles per gallon versus weight, and using a formula entry. Okay. Now, rcharts has the same philosophy that it tries to provide you with a very similar interface to create a plot. So let's create our first interactive plot here. Okay. So if you go to this if you are in the RLD file, you'll see this code chunk where I'm loading rcharts by saying library rcharts, and I'm using a function called rplot. Okay. So I'm doing rplot miles per gallon versus weight, and I'm conditioning it on the variable here. Okay. So in XY plot, if I condition it on here, you will see that I'm going to get a faceted plot. Okay, I'm going to get 1 for each value of here. So in rchart, I'm doing the same thing. Exactly the same formula. Data is empty cars, but I need to specify what kind of a plot I want. So I'm saying I want a point plot, which is what a scatter plot is all about. Okay. So now, if you run this code chunk, there are 2 ways to run this code chunk. Okay. One way, the simpler way is to just place your cursor here, go to chunk, and then say run current chunk. Another way to run this is to just highlight the whole code and just hit run. Okay. Use either one of the two to give a code chunk. So I want to make sure that everybody is able to see the plot on their screen. Okay. So Vivian, can you make sure everybody can see a plot, because that way I know at least people have it installed and have it working. Okay.
Okay.
And then go a little faster after that.
Okay. Do you guys get a similar plot?
The plot comes up in a web browser.
No, it's come from
Okay.
your RStudio. You.
Yeah, it's okay to use the web browser. It either means you're not using RStudio, or it means you're using an older version of RStudio.
I have 10
One of the two.
not RStudio.
Oh, it's fine. If you're using different thing, it's not there. Can I see your
Yeah.
screen?
But it doesn't, it wants to open it in a web browser. Page,
Yeah, it's okay.
But it's blank.
Ramnath, one of them, which compiler you're using?
This is Mozilla.
Vivian, you have to come here to the mic and speak. I can't hear.
So one of them is using the original R, and when he runs this line, it opens up a web page and it's blank.
Yes, obviously it will open up the web. Yeah, if you're not using RStudio, it will open up in the web browser.
But his web browser is empty. But guys, I'm sorry, I need you to be quiet, otherwise he can't hear me. Ramnath, when he opened the web page, it's blank.
Can you see the chart?
No, it didn't come up because
The web page is blank. The web browser opened a new page, but it's empty. Nothing.
It's empty. Okay, what browser is he using? Is it Chrome or is it Firefox?
He's using Mozilla Firefox.
Okay, I've heard people have some issues with Firefox opening up local files, so it could be one of those situations.
Can you copy paste the link to Chrome?
Yeah.
Copy paste the link of the page to Chrome. Yeah. Copy paste the link to Chrome. Start in Chrome index. Did you guys get a call?
For me, whenever I'm typing here the tools to install, it just says
use the Internet Explorer.
Your argument is too low. Which version you're using? You need 3.1. Did you guys get a talk?
Yeah.
What? But I have a Mac.
Okay. He used R, not RStudio 2. He can see it in the
Yeah, I'm using regular R. I'm not using RStudio.
Well, it came up in the Internet Explorer. I just copied it.
Okay. Cool. I think the problem is solved. He copied it to the IE. Ramnath, we can keep going.
Okay, perfect. So I'm assuming at least most people have the chart created?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now we can go a little faster. So if you look at this chart, I mean, in terms of interactivity, right now the only piece of interactivity it has is the hover. The hover behavior. So if you go hover and the points, you will be able to see what is the weight and mileage of the car that's there. You will also notice that it is created neat facets. So for each value of gear, so for example, 4, 3, and 5, it is created a separate facet. Okay. Now, so the whole philosophy of rcharts is to provide an interface that is similar to Lattice, but to render a chart, it uses different JavaScript libraries. And in this case, the chart was created using a library called polycharts. Okay, so rchart supports multiple plotting libraries, and I'll try to expose you to many of them today. Each of them will give you charts that look very different, but the whole idea is that it gives you a bunch of choice, but at the same time providing you with a single consistent interface.
Yes, go ahead.
Can the index, when you hover over each point, you see the weight and the MPG, right? Can those indices be customized? Say, like, say each car has a car name. Can I have the indices show the name of the car instead of these coordinates?
Yes, you can do that. So let me just do that. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add, so the empty cars data set. Okay, let me add a chunk before that. Okay. So if you see the empty cars data set, the car names are not in the data frame. It's a row. Okay, the car names are in the row. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm basically going to say empty cars 2, and I'm going to add a separate column. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say transform empty cars, and what I want to do is I want to add a car name to it, which is essentially the row name of empty cars. Okay. So let me just show you what happens with that. So now you see there's another thing called car name. Okay. So now what you can do is if you want to get a different tooltip, so I'm just going to change things here, empty cars 2, type equals point. Okay. Now there is you could add an argument called tooltip. I'll explain things to you once I get this syntax right. Okay. So give me 1 second. I need to check one thing before I do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to write a JavaScript function here. Okay, so let me do this, and then we can discuss what's happening here. Okay, that way it's easier. I can ensure that things work, and then we will talk. Okay, so if everything goes right, I should be able to see things. Okay, the car name, right? The car name, okay, it's not. Okay, I just close here. Okay, so can you see that it's giving the car name now? Okay, let me explain what I did here. Okay, so the rplot function takes an argument called tooltip. Okay, and what tooltip does is it's actually a JavaScript function. Okay, so what I have here is not an R function, it's a JavaScript function, which is why you see these tags here. You see a hash bang and a bang hash. Okay. And that's basically my way of indicating that okay, this is JavaScript function, and the JavaScript function says okay, for each item in the tooltip, return the car name. Okay, that's why I'm saying item dot car name. Now you can return any field. Okay, so for example, I'll just show you what you can do here. So let's say you want to return the number of cylinders in the car, right? You can basically say, okay, item dot car name plus I want a blank plus return the item dot cylinder. Okay. So if I run this now, you'll be able to see that. Maybe. Give me 1 second. Okay, item dot. Item dot cylinder. Okay, so I think there was a problem with the. I was using double quotes. This is what the problem was. I gave you single quotes inside. The JavaScript things work differently. So now you'll be able to see that I have the car name and the number of cylinders. Okay. So does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Now the way this tooltip is customized will change depending on the library you're using. Okay, so it's not consistent across all the libraries, but pretty much every library gives you a way to customize tools.
I post the command to the comment section. If you didn't get a chance to type it, copy paste from there.
Okay, so should we move ahead, Vivian?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So let me show you another library which is also very popular. So if you see the next function here is it's saying nplot. Okay. So nplot essentially takes a library called NVD3, okay, which is the D3 front end, and you see that the code looks almost identical to what we had before, except that now I'm calling the chart as a scatter chart. Now, the only reason this is a scatter chart is because NVD3 calls it a scatter chart. Okay, and as far as possible, rcharts tries to mimic the API provided by a particular library. Okay, so let me run this code chunk, and you will see the chart is produced. You will see that it looks very different.
Ramnath, 1 second. I think some of them work over, so they need join me. Okay, it's join.me/nyc-open-data. You can remote share the screen.
Try that again.
Are you sharing the screen? Okay. I don't know. Join.me/nyc-open-data. Who else is joining?
I'm trying.
It's join.me. It's not .com. It's not joinme.com. It's join.me/nyc-open-data. How many of you got join me? Okay, cool. Who else want to join? I can wait for 1 more minute.
It's not like
What?
it's not connecting. I think it's incorrect.
The link is wrong?
No, the link is fine, it's just not, it's still rotating.
If you That's all we have. That's just so. Everybody's. Did you all get accepted? I just go through 2 more requests. Okay, cool. Ramnath, yes, we can go forward. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, so let's continue with what we were doing here. So you will see that now we have.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry, we're continue.
So
Yes.
can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so this time around we created a plot. It uses a library called NVD3. Okay, and you will see that this NVD3 actually has a lot of really unique features. So if you go over, you'll see that it kind of displays both the coordinates. We also do some neat things by, let's say you want to group the data based on number of years. So you see that the points are colored based on number of years. I can get a fisheye effect. Okay, which is, I don't know why it's useful, but that's what the library provides. So, so it's there, and you can also hide some of the points. So let's say I don't want to display vehicles with 5 years. I can just click on 5, and you see that is 5 years. Okay, so the whole idea is that each of these libraries provide different functionalities. And what rcharts tries to do is, rcharts tries to give you a very simple way to access these libraries and create charts. Okay? If you go to the rcharts webpage, you will see that all the libraries that it supported. We are adding new libraries pretty much every week. So right now there are close to 10, 15 different libraries. And I mean, usually people pick one or two that they really like and try to learn those libraries. Okay?
Okay.
Now, you can also do some pretty neat things, and I'll give you the next example. So the next example is about creating a map. Okay? Now, I should tell you that this functionality I'm going to talk about is currently available in rcharts, but going forward, it will be taken out of rcharts. I have another package called rmap. I'm moving all the mapping functionality to that. Okay? So going forward, it's going to be available in our maps. Just make a note of that. Okay? So let me create a very simple map here. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to run this line by line. Okay? So that you can see what's happening. So the first line here, I'm creating a map, and the way I'm creating a map, and this line might be a little, I would say, strange looking for some of you who programmed in R for a long time. Okay? And the reason is that it uses the object-oriented programming in R using reference classes. Okay? So what we're doing here is we're first creating a map object of the leaflet class. Okay? So we're instantiating a new object of the leaflet class. So let me run that line. Nothing happens. All that happens is that this is added to the variable map3. Okay? And next line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a method called setView. Okay? So map3 $setView, and I'm going to pass to that method two arguments. One is the latitude, longitude of where I want to center the map, and the other is the zoom level of the map. Okay? So let me run this line. And now if you just type map3, you should be able to see a very basic map on your screen. Okay? So in this case, I've centered it on London. Okay? You can play around with the coordinates, you can play around with the zoom levels. So let's say I want a zoom level of 10. It's going to give you a much more less zoomed in effect. Okay? And you can see that this is interactive because you can kind of drag, you can move the map around, you can use the controls available to zoom in, zoom out. Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
So Vivian, I'm going to keep continuing till you interrupt me saying that there's a problem. Okay?
No problem. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So
now the location, the geographic location?
The C part. This is the center of the map of London. Longitude, latitude, here.
Yeah, so this
you
is
can
those are actual coordinates.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can change to New York's.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Now you can also do, so the way, and this is true with pretty much all of our charts, and this is something I need to explain. Our charts uses the reference classes, so these are objects, which means that every time you do something on the object, it gets stored in the object. Okay, so that is why you don't see a lot of assignment statements. Okay, so typically in R you're used to kind of doing things where you say x equals x plus 1, and then you do x equals 2x, right? Every time you do an assignment, but you're not doing that here. And the reason is that we're using object, so whenever I run something, it's being stored in the object. Okay, so let me show you. Let me kind of get to the next one. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I can change the underlying map that I'm using. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a method called tile layer. Okay, so I'm saying map tile layer, and I'm passing it. Let me just pass one argument to it. Okay, I'm passing it an argument which is the map provider I'm using. Okay, now there are various map providers you can use. So right now I'm using a map provider called State and Watercolor. So if I run this line of code and I say map 3, you will see that I have a nice watercolor map. Okay, you can also switch to map quest. So if you want to do a map quest map, you can do map quest open.osm. Okay, so that's the map layer that MapQuest provides. So if I now run the map and I say map 3, you will be able to see a different map. Okay?
Ramnath,
So essentially, you create a leaflet object and then you use the methods to manipulate it and add various things. Okay? So this is a slightly different style of programming. I mean, for those of you coming from other languages, this is very natural style. Because this is how object-oriented programming is done. If you're a long-term R user, this is going to be a little alien to you. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get across that.
Ramnath,
Okay?
where can I find the provider list?
Okay, so the provider list. Now this is a big problem with documenting a package like rcharts. And I'm glad that you asked me this question. Okay, so let me tell you where the providers come from. Okay, I'll share a link with you. Just give me a second. I'm just pulling up a link for you so that I can share it with you.
Sure.
Okay. So here is the link. So go to the URL. Okay, you know what, Vivian, I'm going to share it on the chat window. Okay.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to switch my screen. I don't want to switch my screen to that. Okay, because then I'm going to lose track. So this is the problem, right? So pretty much every functionality I'm exposing is provided by an underlying JavaScript library.
Can you copy paste the link to my Gtalk instead of in the Google Hangout? I'm using two laptops now.
Okay.
Yes, go to your Gmail, copy paste from Gtalk instead of the Google Hangout one. Okay.
Okay. So in short, I'm using a JavaScript library that exposes various map providers. Okay. So documenting rcharts is a challenge because I need to basically link documents that these guys provide, and so currently it's a little bit of a mess, but I think going forward we can resolve all of that.
Guys, I copy paste the link to comments, so you should be able to have it.
Yeah.
The map provider list. So we can just open this page, use the name on the right side, right? Like,
yeah, you can use the name on the right side. Now, there are a couple of them which won't work. So CloudMade recently, let me see if there are any links that won't work. Because CloudMade, they deprecated their APIs. So none of the CloudMade maps will work. Everything else will work.
So
everything else will work.
I tried to run the map quest open. It doesn't work for me.
map+open.org.
Yes.
Did you make sure that you capitalize things correctly?
Copy paste it to me. I moved. I paired them one by one, but if you can copy paste to me, oh, I think there is a misspelling. Let me try it again. Yeah, it works. Sorry.
It works? Okay.
Yeah, it works.
So you can change the underlying layer and you can get any map that you want. Okay?
Okay.
Should we go forward?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Great. So this is, and now you can also do a couple of other things. Let's say you want to add a marker. So in this case, I'm just formatting the code here so that you can see it much clearer. So what I'm doing is I'm now adding a marker on this object using the marker method. Okay, and passing it again a set of coordinates and passing it what should be shown on being clicked. Okay, so when I run this code now, and I say map 3, you will see that I have a pop-up here. Okay, and if I click on that, I'm able to see the message. So I can change, for example, you can say here hi or hello, and then if I run this, you will be able to see that. Yeah, you'll be able to see that.
Ramnath, question.
Yes.
The bind pop-up, can I insert a picture?
I can't hear your question.
Can I insert a picture in the bind pop-up?
I think it's valid HTML, so you should be able to use it.
Awesome.
So let me just check.
Just grab any picture, give it a try.
Yeah, you should be able to do that. Okay, so for example, let me just do that here. So let's say you were saying I'm adding an image link, source equals this, image.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that it shows up.
Nice. I need this. My client needs this. Awesome. Problem solved.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I'm really happy with this one. Thank you. Lovely. Yes. It's right in the. It's right there. You just change to a picture link.
Oh, okay.
So I just added an image. So I just added an image link here. You can add whatever image you want. It is still not. It is still a little ugly because there's a okay. Now you can see it's better, right? So all that I did was I changed the bind pop-up. The HTML I add there, I just changed it to an image tag with obviously a placeholder image.
Guys, try the kitty one. Can you bring the kitty up? Ramnath, 1 second. Let everyone try it.
Okay, perfect. Now you can also do. I think you can also do GIFs, but that's. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to GIF work. Then you can do this. Okay. Okay, so you can see even GIFs work here. So you can pretty much put whatever you want.
Can you copy paste the? No, this is ugly. What is this picture?
Oh, this is a GIF. I can pick up a random GIF from online, the cat GIF. So okay, let's go back to regular stuff. Okay, so should we go ahead, Vivian? Everybody's on the same page?
Alright, did you guys get the picture? Yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I'll show you one more example, and then we get on to the next part of the workshop. So another very popular library called rcharts. Okay. Now we're going to use a data set called survey. Okay. So let me just show you what the data set contains. So this is it's a survey data set that has a bunch of variables. So it has a gender. I don't know the meanings of these. I think working hand, non-working hand, all this kind of stuff. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm using the same idea, using a function called xplot. Okay. And what xplot does is it uses rcharts. They're giving it an x variable. They're giving it a y variable. They're giving it a name of a data set. They're giving it the type of chart we want. Okay, and in this case, rcharts allows you to overlay multiple types. So here we're saying I want a line chart, a bubble chart, and a scatter chart. Okay, I'm saying I want to group the points based on the variable class, and I want to size the points based on the variable age. Okay, so if you run this code chunk now, you will see that you get a map, you get a plot like this. And you see there are all three layers, right? You have the point layer, you have the line, and you have the bubble. Okay? Now, rcharts has some pretty neat features, like again, what we saw before. You can unselect points. Rcharts also allows some zooming, which I'm not enabled here right now. And you will also see that there is a hover that you can see on the line and the points. Okay? So I think by now you must have gotten the sense of the idea is rcharts provides you an API to use these underlying JavaScript libraries. Okay, which means that to create the basic chart, you just need to know R. But if you want to do any extent of customization that goes a little more serious, you need to understand how this JavaScript library works. Okay, so which is what I'll try to show you in the next. In the last half of in the last quarter of the workshop. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to be switching to the next slide deck. Okay. So I want you to navigate the slides, share, and click on index.rmd in share. Okay, Vivian, I'm just waiting for you to confirm that everyone is on that page.
Did you guys get that far? Any question?
So slides 02 share / index.rmd. And if you want to see the slides, you can open index.html and you will see the slides as well. Okay? So everything is there in that repository that you just download. So is everyone on that page? Can you raise your hand on the page so that I know everybody is there?
Are you on the second slide share? You can go to the index RMD, copy from there, click on the row. Ramnath, I guess we'll wait for 2 more minutes, okay?
Can you repeat that, Vivian?
Can we wait for two more minutes?
Okay.
I have a question about last command we just run. The group equal to clap. What does that mean? The H plot. Ramnath?
So Vivian, I don't follow your question. Group is just a variable that group puts the points based on that variable.
So I'm looking at the last one, the H plot. The group equal to clap. Can you explain what's clap for?
It's just a variable.
What are the options?
It's a variable in the data set.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see.
I showed you that before.
I see.
It is just a variable in the data set. I mean,
Yes.
you can go in that data set, group the points.
Sorry, I was a little bit behind. I tried to put Hello Kitty on my map.
Okay.
Okay.
So are we good to move
Yes.
to the next one?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So now you've created your charts. Now the idea is that you want to be able to share these charts that you created, right? And this is the difference between static plots and interactive plots. Static plots are easy to share because you have a single file, you email it to somebody, they can open it, PNG, PDF, SVG, no problem, right? Now with interactive charts, one of the problems is that there are a lot of things going on. So you want to be able to share it easily, okay? And rcharts provides you with a couple of mechanisms to do that. I'm going to run you through those things, okay? And so this, at least by the end of that, you'll be able to create a chart and share it, which is kind of important, okay? So let us first create a very simple chart. I'll explain to you the chart I'm creating. So again, I'm in this 02 share index.rmb. I'm creating a chart, which I will show you in just a bit. So I'm creating a bar chart of hair and eye colors using MBD3. Okay, so if you see what I've done here, I'm creating a new data set from a built-in insert called hair eye color, and it's basically hair eye color just for males. And you'll see the data frame with 4 columns. Now within n plot, I'm saying give me a plot of frequency versus hair, group the variable, group the data by the variable I, and use the data set hair eye male, and the type of chart I want is a multi-bar chart. Okay, so now we have our plot. Okay, now there are various ways you can share this plot. Okay, the simplest way to share a plot is to use the share method. Okay, now I'm going to be doing something different from what you see in the code here. Okay, so I'm going to be actually just saying n1. Actually, you know what? It's okay. I'll just go with what I have here. So the idea is that n1 takes 2 arguments. It takes a fact, okay, and it takes another argument which I'll explain to you in just a bit. Okay, so I'm saving. What I want to do is I want to save this plot to this file assets/page/chart.html. Okay, and if you run this, Okay, I'm not in the right folder. Let me just make sure I'm in the correct folder. Let me detect that. Okay. So now if I do this, just to show you that I'm creating a new chart, okay, I'm going to change the name of the chart. So I'm going to call it chart2.html. And if you run the same method, you will see that it's created a new chart here. And this chart, if I open in my web browser, you will see that it's exactly the same chart you saw before. Now this is good to be emailed. Okay, so you can email this to anybody and they will be able to open this chart and they will be able to see this number. Okay, now let me explain what the argument CDN equals 2 does. Okay, so now the idea is if you don't use CDN equals 2, what happens is that let me open the file for you. Just let you see what are the contents of the file. Okay, so if you see the contents of the file, you see there are a lot of scripts here, a lot of JavaScript. Now I'm saying CDN equals true. I'm instructing our charts to link to an HTTP online resource. Okay, if I don't use CDN equals true, you will see what happens. Okay, suppose I don't use CDN equals true, and let's say I say chart3.html, and now if I open this, you will see that I'll be able to see the chart. Okay, it will show up in my browser fine, but you can't email it to somebody because all the links on the chart are linking to files on your laptop. Okay, so this link over here is specific to my laptop, so I'm linking to a local resource. Okay, so that is why you want to be able to use CDN equals true. Okay, so go ahead and try to save the chart and try to open it again to make sure that you're comfortable with this part of the workflow. Okay.
Ramnath, is CDN Content Distributed Network, or what's that stand for?
CDN, I mean, I'm actually abusing the word CDN. CDN generally stands for Content Delivery Network.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In my context, I'm just using it to say that, okay, look, all the resources are going to be delivered from an online link. Okay. So now anyone will be able to view this chart. Only caveat is that they will have to be connected online. Okay, if they're not connected online, they can't see the chart. Now I have another option in that under development, so you won't even use it right now, but I'll show you that as well. Okay, so there is another option called standalone equals true. This won't work for you now because it's an experimental feature. But if I save a plot using this, okay, I'll show you what happens. You see the chart displayed. But if I view the source of the chart, you will see that everything is in the chart. So this chart, it looks very messy, right? I mean, you won't be able to follow. This is essentially a lot of, it looks like gibberish, right? But the nice thing with this is that it is truly standalone. So I could email, so you could email this to your boss and they could open it offline and they'll still be able to view everything because I put everything required for this chart in the chart. Okay, but this option is still under development, so you won't be able to use it now. But I hope to push this through.
So standalone will include more than CDN specifically.
Standalone will put everything in the same chart. It will put everything. It will inline everything. It will put the JavaScript files, CSS files, everything it will put in one single file. So that's the only file you will need. It will work offline, online, it will work anywhere.
And standalone will separate those JS into different folder, or how does that work?
Can you repeat your question?
So so using standalone and CDN, what's the difference?
CDN will link to an online JavaScript file.
Okay.
So that anyone using the file will be able to view the chart only if they're connected to the internet.
Okay.
Standalone equals true will put everything in one single file. Everything.
Okay.
Okay, so it's truly standalone. So any other questions on this?
No question. We can keep moving on.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to skip this for now. Okay, there is an embedding option, but that's a little more advanced. I'm going to skip that now. I'm going to give you another way to share your charts. So sometimes you don't want to share an email. Okay, you just want to quickly publish it online. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I will. I need to switch to a different screen for just a second. Okay. So bear with me here. Okay. Okay, just give me 1 second, okay?
Sure.
Okay, I'm good. Let me share, get my RStudio back. Okay, so are you seeing my RStudio now? Okay, good. So now here's what we're going to do. So we're going to publish this chart. Okay, now there is a method in our charts called publish. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the chart I created previously. Okay, so N1 was the chart I created previously. Right, the very first step I created a chart called N1. Okay. Now in this step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to directly publish this. Okay. So right, this chart is not standalone. This chart is a piece of a bigger document. In this case, an R markdown document. Okay.
Okay.
So the embed method allows you to to run the R code and actually have the chart in your document directly, as opposed to creating the chart separately and then adding a link. Okay. I'm not going to go through this in detail because it requires you to know what R markdown is and what R markdown documents are. Vivian probably is going to run another workshop where you're going to be learning about knitter and a whole bunch of things. So I will leave it for that. Okay?
Okay.
So now you can also publish your chart to another resource called rpubs, but I'm not going to discuss that either. Okay? So this is just to sort of show you that you can create a chart and publish it in a seamless fashion with just a few lines of code. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next part of today's workshop, where I'm going to talk about interactivity. So I want you to navigate to the folder slides, within slides, interactivity, within interactivity, index.rmd. Okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll just give a minute so that everyone is on the same page.
Ramnath, would you mind to run the iframe one? I want to see how it looked like.
The iframe one, can we do that at the end, Vivian? Because it requires me to open up an markdown document and keep running that.
Okay.
So it's going to basically.
No problem.
So all that it does is, okay, I'll tell you what it does. All that it does is, if you use iframe, it creates a chart, saves it, adds the link as an iframe. So if you're running it within a knitted document, it will do everything for you. It will save the chart, it will add a link as an iframe, so that when you open the data document, it's going to show up in that document.
Okay. Yes, we can move to the third part.
Yeah. Okay. So now the third part I'm going to talk about is, now a lot of times you want to add more interactivity to the chart. Okay. So far we only talked about activity that is added by the library, right? So for example, NVD3 has some behavior, polychart has some behavior. Sometimes you want to add more behavior than what is just allowed by design. Okay? So I'm going to take you through some of that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run the first code chunk, and what this does is it creates the same plot, actually almost the same plot we saw in the beginning. Okay, so you see that it shows you a plot of miles per gallon is weight colored by the number of gears at each point. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some interactive controls to the plot. Okay. So let me explain this line to you. So I'm adding, what I want to do is I want to add an interactive control to this chart. Okay. And I want the control to control my X value. Okay. So what I'm saying here is add an interactive control for the X variable. Okay. Initialize it to miles per gallon and show me all the columns in the data set empty cars so that I can pick, the user can pick one of these to display as the X variable. Okay. So let me run this line of code and let me display the chart, and you will see that it is automatically added a drop down menu on the top for you. Okay. And so for example, if I now change the X variable from weight to miles per gallon, you should see that all the points line up. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say you want a different variable. Let's say I want horsepower. Okay. Did you get that?
Yes, I did. I get that.
Everybody?
Yes, everybody is getting that.
Okay. So now I want to explain a little bit. Now, for those of you who use, how many of you have used Shiny here? Raise your hand.
Shiny?
Shiny? Okay. Only one of them. So there is a difference between how Shiny works and what happens here. Okay. This looks very close to what Shiny does, but the application you're seeing here is completely client side. Okay. So this HTML file does not require a connection with R. It basically uses AngularJS to do the reactive parts. Okay. So this is not a Shiny application. Okay. So you could just, this chart can be published exactly like you publish other charts. You don't need a Shiny server to be able to run this. Okay. So it can be beneficial in some settings where you don't really want to, have things run on a server.
So I have a question on that.
Yeah.
Does all of the data have to be pre-processed if you're using Angular instead of Shiny? Let's say
All the data has to be in the browser, yeah.
Okay, so if you're working with a really big data set, it's going to potentially slow it down, loading all of that on the client side?
Yeah, so for really big data sets, you're going to have a lot of other challenges because these libraries use D3, and D3 basically has a lot of complexity in terms of everything is irrelevant to the DOM, right? So with very big data, yes, you're going to have some trouble rendering. I would recommend experimenting with it if you have very big data, but this is ideally suited for small to medium sized data sets.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay?
We can move on, thank
with
you.
Shiny, you might have the same problems because at the end of the day, it's about how much data you're visualizing, how much data you're sending down the wire, right? Yeah. So it can alleviate some of the issues, but not completely. Okay. So you can add more controls here. So for example, here I want to add another control for the color, controlling the color of the points. If I run that and I see the chart now, you see that I can change this now. The points are going to be colored based on a different variable. Okay. Now, of course, in this case, it is treating it as a continuous variable. You will have to convert it to a factor to be able to display it as 0, 1. But that's okay. That's just how the data in the chart is. Okay. So this is also completely client side. So it's using only AngularJS. Okay. Now let me show you what you can do with Shiny, and I'm going to navigate down to the bottom of this presentation. Okay, so if you go down to the bottom, you will see that I'm recreating the exact same chart using Shiny. Okay, let me explain the code to you. So I'm creating, for those of you who have not used Shiny before, Shiny is an R package that allows you to create interactive applications using R. You need to define two things in Shiny. You need to define a UI, which is your user interface. You need to define the server. Okay. So in this case, I'm defining the UI, and what I'm saying is, for the UI, I want you to give me a page with a sidebar. I want an empty header panel. I want a sidebar panel with a select input. I want a main panel with a chart output. Okay, so that's all I'm saying here. And on the server side, you see the rplot code I had before. I'm putting it inside a render chart to function. Okay, and instead of setting the x variable in advance, I'm saying that get me the x variable and select it on the client side. Okay, so I'm saying input $x, which corresponds to whatever the user selects on the client side. So if you run this piece of code, if you have Shiny installed, if you run this piece of code, okay, so you run current chunk, you will be able to see a plot that looks almost identical to what you saw before. Can you see that? Okay, you know what?
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it on you won't be able to see it on my browser. My window because
The legends are gone.
Give me 1 second, let me just switch to that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now this is a Shiny application. Okay, so here it displays the same behavior as before. Okay, so if I do that, you'll see that it changes what the x variable is. Okay, but there is a difference between what I showed you before and what I'm showing you here. Okay, in this case, whenever I'm changing the variable, it is contacting R. Okay, it is contacting the server. It is telling R, hey, the user has changed the x variable, so create a new chart for me and push it to my browser. Okay, so this is using server-side interactivity. What I showed you before was purely client-side. Okay, which means that I could just take the HTML, email it to you, you'll be able to see things. Whereas this chart, I have to deploy it on a Shiny server, and it needs to maintain a persistent connection with the hardware. Okay? Now, it might make sense to you, it may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to you if you know what Shiny is. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Okay. So let me switch back to my Vivian's window. Okay. So this is all about interactivity. You can add more interactivity depending on whatever the scope of your application is. Okay. 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 So any questions so far?
Do you have a question? Everyone's good.
Everyone's good at it. So now, we have around 20 minutes left. So what I'm going to be doing here is, in the interest of time, I'm going to show you two applications. I'm going to run on my laptop. The code for that I will share it to you at the end of this. Okay, so you may not be able to try it out instantly, but I want you to focus on the process itself. Okay, and I'm going to switch to using another piece of technology which I want to introduce to you. How many of you here have used IPython notebooks?
I did.
Okay, anyone else aware? Anyone else know what an IPython notebook is?
No.
Okay, perfect. So IPython notebooks are essentially, although it has the word Python in it, IPython notebooks are a beautiful piece of software that allows you to run things interactively. And recently, there was an R kernel written by IPython notebook. Let me show you what I'm talking about before I describe things. Okay. So let me just switch to the presentation. Okay. Can you see the notebook on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is an IPython notebook, and what the IPython notebook essentially is running in the browser. Okay? And the idea is it's very similar to R Markdown, and the idea is that you can mix text with code, and you can run things interactively. Okay? So let me demonstrate a very simple application. And what we're going to do here is we're going to replicate this interactive visualization from the New York Times. Okay, so some of you might have seen this visualization. It is about baseball and strikeouts. Okay, so the whole thesis in this article in the New York Times was that the number of strikeouts per game is actually been increasing over the years. Okay, so we're going to try to replicate this using rcharts. Okay, so I'll share the code with you at the end of the workshop. Okay, so right now just listen to me and you can follow along as I talk about it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use. Fortunately, R has a package called Lemon, LHMEN, that already has the baseball data set built in. Okay, so it has. So if you load the package Lemon, there is a data frame called teams. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. So essentially, the teams data set, I'm only showing you 4 variables in the data set. It has a year, it has the name of the team, it has the number of goals scored, it has the number of strikeouts. Okay, it has more columns, but I'm just showing you the main columns that we have. Okay. So I'm just going to comment on these things. Okay. So what we are now going to do is we're going to create the chart that I showed you before. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is, so any chart is basically consisting of a bunch of layers. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create this plot. Okay, where you have 1 point for each team year combination. Okay. So if you see a screen here, I'm defining a variable called strikeouts per game. Okay, so I think I need to show you this part here. So the team data, yeah. So the team data is just the same data set I showed you before, except that it has an additional column consisting of the strikeouts per game. Okay, so I just added another column that shows strikeouts per game. Okay. So now, if I use R plot and I say, okay, I want a scatter plot of strikeouts per game versus player ID. Okay, the data set I want you to use is the team data. I want you to use the type point. Okay, I want to choose the size of the points. In this case, it's a constant size 2. I want you to color the points, and in this case, I'm choosing a gray shade. And finally, I'm adding a tooltip to the point where I want to display the strikeouts per game, the name of the team, and the year. Okay. So if I now run with the code, okay. Okay, it should not have done this. Give me 1 second. Okay. So now you see that it's created a simple. It's created the first layer. Okay. So if you remember this chart, it has multiple layers, right? So the first layer is just the points. So I've just created the points. Okay. And each point you can go over and you can see what happens. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add this line. Okay. Now this line over here is essentially a line that joins all the means. So for each year it's taking the mean strikeouts per game for that year across all the teams and then creating a line. Now to do that, we want to create another data set, okay, called league data. So let me actually show that to you here. So that we're going to create another data set here called league data, and I'm using a package called flyer. Okay. So what we're doing here is we are for each team, for each year, we are just summarizing the data so that for each year there is just one value of strikeouts per game. Okay? So let me show you what data looks like here. On the piece of code, you see that it is summarized for each year. It's taken the average of the strikeouts per game. Okay.
Okay.
Now what we can do is I want to add a line. Okay. Now the way I add a line is by using a method called layer. So I'm saying I want you to add a layer for me. Now I don't want to use data set that I showed you before, but now use the data set leak data which is created a minute back. Okay. Don't give me a point plot, give me a line plot. Okay. I want you to color the line blue. Copy layer equals true basically means that it's going to copy everything else in the previous layer. And finally, I don't want you to display any. Okay. So if you run this piece of code now, you'll see that it is added a nice line. Okay. So this is the second layer that you see here in the New York Times. You can also now the The New York Times also allows you to add another line on top, which is based on the theme. So you can also overlay top a line for the, for example, I've overlaid a line for the Yankees, right? So how do I do that? So now I need to add a third layer. Okay. Now let me change the name of the team here. I'm going to say, okay, I want New York Yankees. Okay. I'm going to create a new data set for the Yankees. It's essentially saying NYY is a subset of the team data, okay, such that it's the Yankees. Okay. And let me just make sure that we have that right. I'm just commenting on this report so that you can verify that it's doing what it's doing. Okay. So you see that it's only giving you the New York Yankees in the data set. Okay. So now I can go ahead and add a third layer where my data is NYY, and this time I want to color the points red, okay, and as usual I want to copy the previous layer. So if I do this, now you will see that it's added a red layer here. Now this database I think is missing some points, which is why the New York Yankees, or actually the strikeout rate here starts at 1900. Then it's here starting at 8080. Okay? That is why it looks a little different. But you see that you added a third layer on top. Okay. Now you can add more things to it. I'm not going to go over that. The last part I want to show you is how you can convert this into an application. Okay. So what I've done here is a bunch of calculations. I will share with you in a bit. I have basically done a bunch of calculations that that give me the teams, the top 30 teams, not top 30 teams, but all teams that have had at least 30 appearances in the league. Okay? So the teams in menu is the top 30 teams. Okay? Now what am I shooting for? Well, if you look at this plot here, it allows you to interactively select the team, right? It allows you to choose a team based upon and displays things based upon the team. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a Shiny application, okay, and I'll show you how the Shiny application is going to work. Okay, just give me 1 second. I just need to get the code that I have. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. The link that you're showing now, is that also on the GitHub? Or?
It's not on GitHub. It's used local.
Okay.
I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it right after the workshop. Okay.
Okay.
And then you can try things out. And I just, in the interest of time, that's why I want to make sure that I cover that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let me just give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up the Shiny application so that you have it. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to put this entire thing into a function. Okay. And so I'm going to just copy paste the function. So all that I've done here is all the code you saw before. Okay. I've just put it into a function so that I can create this plot for any team by just doing plot P. Okay. So we're just going to check. We're just going to check if this function works properly for us. Okay. I have the Yankees now. Boston Red Sox. And I have the Boston Red Sox. Okay. So what we have done here is just put everything you've seen before into a function based on the key. Okay. So now to create a Shiny application based on this, if you remember, I told you that Shiny application needs 2 pieces. Okay. The first piece the Shiny application needs is the UI. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say the UI. I want a page with sidebar. I want it to basically display a header with New York Times graphics. I want the user to be able to select the team, okay, and the label should be strike out for team for game, initialize tip to the New York Yankees, okay, and I want the main panel. I want the output basically to be what I create. Okay, so this is just the UI. Okay, so let me go ahead and run this. It's not going to do anything. It is going to. I have load Shiny before this. Okay, so it's not going to do anything because I just created the UI. Okay, so now on the server side, you see that the server side code is really simple. On the server side, what I'm doing is I'm just saying, okay, the chart, my chart is basically I wanted to plot the team that the user selects. Okay, so input $team basically makes sure that whenever the user changes the team selected, it is going to plot the graph for the given team. Okay, so now I have the server and the UI. Now to run this application, all that I have to do is I have to say library Shiny, Ramnath, list UI equals UI, so server equals server. Okay, so I'm going to run this app. So let me make sure the server run here is done. So now, of course, it's not going to open up here. It's going to create a Shiny application. I have to open another window. So now you see here that you see this plot here. Okay. I'm going to change this theme here. Let's just change it to Boston Red Sox. You see that the chart is responsive. Okay. So I mean, it doesn't look as pretty as what the New York Times has. Okay, but you can also see the amount of code that went into it. Given the amount of code that went into it, I think it comes pretty close to what the New York Times article has. Okay, so the reason I want to show you this application was to actually show you that you can do a lot more with our charts. It's not just about it's not. Just give me 1 second. Let me just switch on the light here so that you can at least see me. Okay. Okay. So the reason I shared the application with you was to show you that you can do a lot more with our charts by using Shiny and a few other applications. You can create very sophisticated data visualization. Okay. Not just sample visualization, but entire data. Okay. And if you want, I'll share the link for this particular application, and then I want a blog code with details of the applications. I'll just pull up the link in 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, let's go. People.com/rcharts NYT Interactive that has the entire code that is used. So when you have to go, no time the block code that you know that takes you to the okay.
Okay.
So rcharts was NYT Interactive and what basically. So that's pretty much what I have for today. I mean, I have a lot more, but I realize it was very fast. Okay. Now, if you want to learn more, the business class website, those questions that you want to get working, and any other questions, email me. I'll be happy to help. Okay. So let me get back to my. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I have again. I can see some questions. If there are questions, I can take questions. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much. And I heard the same something. I'm not the right questions, like that.
Ramnath, the R charts was improved a lot since last time. Since last July when we did last R charts event. You add a lot of new features.
Yes, right. I added a lot more features. Also another the analyzer called R. Let me just do one more demo.
Okay. How do you guys feel? Are you amazed?
Yeah.
I'd love to take it.
Pretty cool.
Much
cool.
It's much better.
Brilliant.
Last time was cool. This time is super cool.
Next question.
Can't hear what he's saying.
Also, these questions. Okay, I'll just do one more demo. This is show you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm just going to pull the one. Pull the file there.
Guys, we're gonna vote for tonight's speaker. If you think he did a good job, this is good, this is awesome, this is not good, we're voting, guys. We always vote, you know me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about tonight's event? Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to show you one more application.
I'll send to him. Ramnath, we just did a vote.
Yeah, okay. So here it is.
Go ahead. Yes.
So I made for R math. And let me just show you what R math can do. Okay. So this colors are at the motion. Okay.
Okay.
So what I have here is I have a data set. Hang on a second, okay? So what I have here is I have a data set called web index that has it has various indicators of web access. Okay. Now I'm going to create a map. I'm going to put this on a map. Okay. So our map has a library called crosslet, and that's what this crosslet will do. So content crosslet, X is content, Y variables I want to put it here. Data is web index of the code, and the map itself is a world map. Okay. And by looking the code. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So now you can see this the map that's created here. Can you see my screen?
Wow.
Forward. So now this is actually a photoplex map. And the nice thing is that you can actually filter the map based upon value. It's actually a combination of cross filter and reflex. Okay, so you can see how the two lines forward you can create a very complicated looking visualization that allows people to kind of explore the data in more. Okay.
Wow,
So,
I really like this one.
Chart functionality that's restricted only to mapping. Okay, and essentially all the mapping stuff I showed you today will be moved to our map, and if you enter select the our map.
Can you switch the map back?
Yes, Vivian. Can you repeat your question?
Can you switch the map back?
Can you switch the map?
Yeah, it's awesome. I need this. I need this. My clients need this. I'm gonna use it right away. Would you guys use it in your work? It's awesome, right?
Okay, so let me switch the map. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm just playing a full screen, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Wow, my goodness.
so now you can do things like you can cross filter this. So you look at it, it's actually a photo flag across multiple variables. Okay? And the right thing is that you can filter. So let's say I want to select all countries that come in about what I want to select all countries. In fact, I found it about 16. Them open about 8. Okay? So you see, you can really look at what are the countries that have that. Okay?
This is amazing. I think all my clients want this.
Yeah, so our map is still under development. Both packages are development. rcharts is in the form. Our map is still
You were finished at this week, this end of this week?
can you repeat that again?
When will you finish our maps?
Our map is already on this now. You can already use it. I think it's not as robust as rcharts.
This is amazing. I really like it.
Yeah. So you can do more things. One more example that I can show is so you can do interactive process map. So this is an example of a process map. Okay, it is generally using this generated. So this is actually interactive process. It means that you can actually change the value and it's clear and automatically it gives you a process for the particular step. Okay. Now this was generated using a single line of our code. Storage our code in
What are we seeing here?
You can choose which year you're picking by the bar chart.
So what is the data?
What is the data?
Okay,
Ramnath?
I'm showing you the output. Okay. So yeah. So the data is actually data of violent crime in the US. Okay. So when we just first data set, this could be very clear state reduces crime rate. Okay. And what I want here is I'm using a function in our map called iPhotoFlex. And what iPhotoFlex does, basically allows you to say, okay, give me a map of crime versus state, data set is while planned, animated, use the variable here. Okay? And if I now look at the code, you will see that it gives you a case of this code. Okay? And now this slider allows you to move around and really visualize the extent. Okay? Now you can also do another thing. If you want, instead of a slider, you want a play button, which allows you to play the play and the animation. You can just add another argument called play equals true. Okay? Once you add play equals true, you will see that now I don't have a slider, but I have a play button. So I just put a play button, it automatically plays that value. Yes. Okay? So RMAP, the idea of RMAP is to make interactive mapping very easy from R, and using the same philosophy as rcharts. In fact, the border is not concept in rcharts. It's exclusive for maps. So it has leaf set, data map, cross-set, whole bunch of mapping.
Wow. It's much easier than Shiny. The animation, just one line of code.
No, so the reason, okay, now, the reason it's easier with less flexibility because using AngularJS, so it's completely client-side. It is also interactivity with client-side. It is not so.
I see.
So the reason, yeah, so even in Shiny, one issue is because everything has to go back to the server, there's really some latency because of the application. Flickr will have this.
We're Breaking Bad for stuff.
Wow.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I have, and I think if you have questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Do you guys have a question?
The New York Times article. What was that programmed in?
I think it's Distro.js.
Vivian, I can't hear.
So they are asking you the New York Times one, which program it was programmed by, which language?
Which what?
Which language New York Times user to make the interactive plot? The one.
So, the New York Times basically uses D3.js. Okay. They have the guy who wrote D3.js. Okay. Now D3.js, the good thing D3.js allows you to manipulate every single element of the plot to give you final control. But the amount of code you need to write is a lot. Okay. So our charts and Excel cannot produce charts of that quality because here the goal is to create quick and dirty charts. Okay, quickly. Whereas DT allows you to be very, very complicated and final. Okay, so that's the difference.
So you're saying he spent a lot more time programming that chart than you did?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, if you add the time I spent in writing our charts, well, maybe not. Or actually, no. I mean, D3 was written as a part of C, right? So, yeah, but you must write a lot of. I mean, just so that since part of the question, I think it makes sense to show you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ramnath.
Okay, I'm just showing you what I'm just responding to the question.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the DP, the chart in on the New York Times website. Okay, you can see the whole code here.
It must. I see. Because the guy who made D3.js is the visualization head of New York Times. Most of those things are made in D3.js. It's much longer. Because you need to specify all the attributes.
Yeah, this is quick. It's great. Yeah.
So this is the original
Even I could
D3.js
do it.
file? What do you mean? You're a programmer. Ramnath, we have one more question.
But so if you get yes.
Sorry for interrupting you. Do you have something else to say about the last question?
No, the only thing was that if you want to create really, innovative looking plot, learn D2. It's not DFA. That's all I want to say.
Okay, one more question.
Can you talk a little bit more about the limitations of the AngularJS interactivity? I'm really attracted to that idea. I've tried some combinations of rcharts and Shiny, but it can be hard to deploy Shiny at scale. Does AngularJS work with all of the different JavaScript libraries?
Okay, so AngularJS is just a React. So AngularJS is what is just a React, right? So it can integrate with a lot of other JavaScript libraries. Okay, it is just an MVC framework that allows you to kind of easily bind what happens when the user changes something on the interface. Okay, so AngularJS by itself does not provide these controls and everything else. Okay, what I've done in rcharts is I'm actually generating AngularJS in the background directly on. You don't have to generate it. You just have to specify it. Okay? Now, enough to communicate more in terms of what kind of controls you add. From signing you can add any orbital control. You can do all the data processing on the other side. Right? So everything happens in the outside. With AngularJS, you need to do all data processing, final data processing on the client side, which means that you're limited by what and packaging in on. Okay? So right now I'm only packaging, you only choose simple control. You only choose X variable, Y variable, and stuff like that. You cannot do complicated data manipulation on the line.
Okay, we
Does that answer the question?
Well, we had a hard time hearing you. The connection isn't very good, but I need to read up on it some more, and maybe I'll email you if I have more questions.
Yeah, so feel free to send me an email. I can explain and then you can have options.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Ramnath, I will call you in an hour when I get home.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, bye.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the session. Your feedback. Make sure that
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And otherwise, I hope you get working on it.
You did a great job. Everyone loved it. Thank you so much.
Great.